I asked No Spin News host Bill O'Reilly about all of this and a lot more earlier today. Here's what he had to say. Vice President J.D. Vance went on Joe Rogan's podcast today, and Joe pressed him on Israel's influence on the U.S. Vance is trying to clear the air here and tell him about what's happening behind the scenes and shut down the narrative that Israel pushed the U.S. into this war. But where did this narrative come from in the first place?
It's always been there. The Israeli lobby, they call it, in D.C., where you live. Certain presidents have close relationship with Israel. Barack Obama did not, but Bush the younger, did. So all I can tell you is that nobody pushes Donald Trump into anything. And I had a long conversation with the president when the hostages negotiations were going on with Hamas. And it was clear to me that, yes, Israel pressured Donald Trump to do certain things, but Trump wasn't going to do anything unless he felt it was best for America. I think that this latest thing is because Mossad got information, and you reported it, I reported it, that all the mullahs would be in the same place at the same time.
Right. This is the key. I
think that was the end of February.
This is the key. Yes.
Right. And so Trump called the Pentagon in and his intel people in and said, okay, if that's true, and we can get them all at once, we could break the country. Maybe they'll rise up and overthrow this theocracy. So that's what happened. But that's not a push. That's more of a, here's the information, we have an opportunity. And President Trump took the opportunity. At the same time, I said this was the biggest risk he had ever taken in his life, because I knew that it wasn't going to come down in an easy fashion.
But what about the narrative, too, on the Israel issue, that this is Israel's war, the United States has no interest here, and the president should have never taken the risk that you talk about? I mean, I could go on and on about the history of the Iranian regime, the hundreds of Americans they have killed, the hundreds of U.S. troops they've maimed in Iraq. But where does that come from? I mean, this idea that this is just something the president is doing at the behest of Israel is completely detached from reality.
Well, it's an ignorant view. I wrote a book called Killing the Killers, which chronicled Donald Trump and Barack Obama's attempts to break the cycle of terrorism in the Middle East, which was and is funded by Iran. So both presidents agreed we have to try to stop this. And then the element of uranium enrichment adds a bit of urgency. So anybody that says, and people have, I mean, I've debated them on television, Iran isn't able to develop a nuclear weapon, you're looking at them and you go, that goes against every single intelligence assessment in the world, pretty much, in the world.
Yeah.
But you somehow, you pundit on television, you know that Iran can enrich uranium to a degree that a bomb could be created? How do you know that? And then
the Iranians were saying they were doing it, too, at the same time. And they were openly saying they were doing it.
But we have to be skeptical of everything the Iranians say.
True.
But anyway, the point of the matter is that people say stuff, they can't back it up. They believe what they want to believe. And the Democratic Party, almost 100%, believe that Donald Trump got us into a bad situation with Iran and that Israel helped do that.
Democrats are again trying to make headlines by vilifying ICE. You had the president reversing a decision by DHS today to stop traffic stops. Those are now back in play. Chuck Schumer is threatening to shut down the government again ahead of the midterm elections for the sake of funding ICE. Why is it that they continue to use this as a way to get at the president when the majority of Americans support deporting violent criminals, and Democrats have a problem with not being able to say we're going to stand up for American citizens over criminality who has entered the country illegally?
Well, you're doing two questions. You're doing a macro and a micro. So the 5 people who have been killed, let's see, 5 now. That's not a good look.
Of course.
It's just not. Okay.
But
So
there's a lot of
wanna
other stuff ICE is doing, and the media is focusing on those few cases rather than the
But that's
thousands
always
of
going to be
people
the
they're
case.
taking.
You don't have an honest media in the country, and that's just the way it is. So you got to deal with reality. Now, if I were President Trump, I would not have stopped the order to, go lighter on the car chases. I wouldn't have done that. I would have said, we'll have a decision for you in 10 days, and then explain the decision. Because you're correct, most Americans don't want this chaos that was 100% caused by the Democratic Party. Now, they'll remember that. The voter in November will remember that. But Maine, for example, it was almost a lock Susan Collins, the Republican, would win after this nut Plattner was exposed. But now, with the dead migrant, all right, now it's back in play. Because independent voters,
definitely
those who
by
lean
demand,
left,
and by, they're doing that on purpose. You know that. This is very strategic. They're organized.
Yeah,
We've covered the ICE riots outside of the facilities live. I mean, these people show up when they're told. They leave when they're told. They're being paid. This is obviously all by design.
But people believe it. Okay, so you have to always keep. You may know how this is structured, and I know. But people believe what they want to believe. And that is an advantage to the Democrats. If this didn't happen, trust me on this, Susan Collins would have walked away with a victory here. Now, how long it lasts, I don't know.
Right.
But President Trump should show as much compassion as possible in this, but still do his job. But still get rid of criminal aliens. Look, I'll give you a story, Katie. I don't know whether you've covered it or not. But this Tim Walsh, who ran for vice president.
We definitely covered it.
Allowing this Laotian child rapist to stay in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I mean, the Republicans should run with that all day long.
Right.
That's insane. That's terrifying.
It was smart for Rubio to jump on that and get the guy out of the country and deport him. I mean, that was
he got the guy out of the country, but it didn't. It did. See, I didn't know about it until yesterday that Rubio intervened. Rubio should have been out there 10 seconds after the guy was on the plane. I mean, this is a war of public relations now, in addition to reality.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. It was reported this week that HHS is walking back a pledge to block Medicare and Medicaid funding for hospitals that provide irreversible, transgender surgeries and hormone treatment for children. What do you think is behind that walk back? It seemed like a pretty easy sell to the public to go through with that.
I don't know. I'm not involved in that Washington merry-go-round. So I don't know who's behind this or what the agenda is. I do know there's big money on the progressive side, trying to get as many benefits as possible into this trans arena. For me, I don't know. Okay, I don't want to see anybody unhappy or brutalized. I don't. But this is not an issue that should be in the forefront of anybody's thinking. If these people need help, let's give them help. But, to formalize legislation around it, oh, my God.
It's in the medical schools.
It's another self-inflicted wound.
And the medical community and in doctors' offices. There was this doctor telling Congress that it's not just women who can get pregnant. Listen.
Of course, the vast majority of pregnancies are in women, and I have absolutely no problem with using the word pregnant women. I use it myself.
Has a non-biological woman ever had a baby?
A transgender person can.
That's not a biological woman.
I mean, the vast majority of women can have babies. I mean, only women can have babies, though. And medical professionals are testifying in front of Congress and the congressional record about this and acting like that's normal.
Right. I don't know any trans women who have babies, so let's parade them on out, if that's true. Look, again, this is just hurts the Democratic Party. It puts the nut label on them. That's the strongest thing the Republicans have going for it right now, is that you may not like us, but they're so much worse. And that's where we are. But again, things are going to change.
Well, President Joe Biden is back. He's coming out with a new book about his time in office. His son, Hunter, who's been all over the place, was asked about President Trump in a recent interview. What do you make of Joe's book coming out in November, just 2 weeks after the midterm elections?
Well, it was supposed to come out in September, but it isn't. Do you know why?
Well, I think that Democrats probably don't want Joe Biden taking up all of the oxygen on the campaign trail and reminding everybody of what was as they're trying to win back power.
That's a very good answer, but the answer is my book's coming out September 15th.
Oh, there you go. Even more importantly.
Confronting America, what has to change. And now with the publishing industry is in such contraction, okay, that publishers go, we can't have our product up against a product we know is going to kick its butt.
What do you make of Hunter Biden now doing this kind of, you know, no pun intended, rehab tour of himself, and also trying to get ahead of his dad's book, and out there trying to get some good PR, dropping a few F-bombs along the way?
I would tell him to go f his self. That's what I would tell him. And please leave. I mean, like I can be civil, and I can tell you, like, oh, well, listen, he's the president. I don't want him to be pissed off at me. You know, like, it's the president of the United States. Well, obviously, wouldn't you want to have a constructive dad? This man has tried to torture me for 10 years. He says the he says about my dad.
I'm a Christian. I'm willing to forgive Hunter Biden if he asks for forgiveness. I want forgiveness for myself. I think Hunter Biden is a poltroon, Poltroon. I think he is amusing to us in the media who are looking for something to do on Thursday, because the guy has no control over himself at all. He'll say anything. I don't know if he'll do anything, but I wish he'd pay attention to his little daughter more than run around spouting propaganda. I mean, and I'm saying that to Hunter Biden as man to man here. You know, maybe you want to spend a little time with your daughter, okay, rather than doing all this nonsense. Yeah,
getting his family to acknowledge her would be a good start. So, good advice. And of course, we will be watching for your book, Bill. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Always good to talk to you.
Thanks for having me, Katie.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.